Yo, what it do, support crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Moral Support Podcast. It's your host, Wayne, joined by brother Des. And we have a very, very, very special guest for a couple reasons. But the main reason, this is the first woman on the Moral Support Podcast.
Clap it up for that.
Yeah, let's give that a, you know what I'm saying, round of applause.
That's big.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy couple weeks, dog. It's been crazy up here in western Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? With we going through a drought. The weatherman's back another week. You know what I'm saying? So we going through a drought. Well, it did rain a little bit today, though.
Literally a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I don't know if that's gonna be enough to keep the
my plants need some vegetables. They need some
right.
love, bro.
So you started the garden, right?
Yeah, I got some stuff. It's going good actually because I water. I'm used to, after last year we had a really dry summer. I'm used to watering like every day, so I can't depend on.
Yeah. So is it bigger this year than it was last year?
I did stuff in buckets instead of ground today. So
okay. So how was that?
It's interesting. It's going well. Like, we're actually about to probably see a harvest within everything by the next week.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. So that's good. Everything good. Everything.
Yeah. Everything's making it through.
Because we haven't really been talking like that as much, to be honest, bro. It's been crazy. How about yourself? You been all right?
I've been wonderful. Yeah. I just been really. I got a new house, so within this month, I've been unpacking, packing.
That's fun.
Been trying to get my life back in order because I was staying with my mom for a whole year. Long story short, finally got a beautiful home, and I can't wait to start gardening because I have a big yard, and on the other side of my house, I have like another yard.
Oh yeah,
and it's a perfect size for a garden, and the other side will be like for like parties and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm officially making my house a home, and what's interesting, like I had my own home before, but all the houses that I stayed in, I never officially made it a home. Like, I didn't decorate it. I didn't feel like it was like special for real. But this place, when I saw it, I fell in love. I'm like, oh, this is my home. I can't wait to start decorating. So like, I got plans for every room, and it's already starting.
That's a good chapter in life you're in right now. Then that's a great chapter.
That's what I need to do with myself. Make my crib a home.
Cause you move too much, bro.
Yeah, I do. I move a lot. Like, I'll be bouncing around. I plan on bouncing around some more. But like, the one thing that I always miss, like, with anywhere that I live, is it's never really a home because I'm just out working so much, or I'm just on the move so much where it's like I come back home, I go to sleep, or like, you know, I might sit there for a day with my dog, you know what I'm saying?
It's a hotel for real.
Yeah. That's what it feels like sometimes. It's like a temporary stay, and then obviously again with work, I work overnight, so I'm not even staying the night at my house. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe I need a woman to make it home. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, leave it to them, bro. They'll do it.
I know, and you know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, that's just what it is now. So hopefully, I don't know, we'll get there one day.
You know it'll come.
That was my reason why I didn't make places at home, because I was always on the go.
That'll do it.
Like, I don't got no kids or anything. I'm like, well, I got all this freedom. Financially, where we going?
Seriously. And that's dope. That's, and that's another thing I need to do more of is travel. I need to go more. I need to do more. I need to see more. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, brother, I'm gonna pass you the keys.
It's slowing up. Yeah. So again, welcome. You know, Venasia, it's special to have you on here again. First female, absolutely. It's just going to be some good value, and it's going to be diverse. So we're going to get into it a little bit. So how I met Venasia was really just shortly, a short time ago. Literally, I think maybe over a year ago, a little bit. Through a networking opportunity in which we were a community that we were a part of in a shared space. And ever since then, she's just been a good person. You know, she's super genuine. I love the things she has, you know, she's attached to as far as her businesses. I don't know if it's one business or businesses, and we're going to get into that because she does a lot of different things. She has a lot of different talents and stuff. Yeah, she got a lot of different talents and gifts, and I've always been intrigued in them. And even the first time I heard her speak, you know, she had left some core values on the platform that stuck with me for real, because the things she was speaking on was like those things on which we need to really start prioritizing within our life. And what that was self-care. You know, so I'm going to actually pass her the keys and pass her the torch and just speak on some of those things that, you know, our values of self-care, because as colored people, let alone as men, let alone as just the society we're in, we lack that. We lack self-care. Not only do we lack it, but we lack the information on how to actually, do it. Sometimes I feel like in the time we're in now, we have a desire to like prioritize self-care, but people don't know how. So if you would like to just speak to self-care in any facet that you would like to.
So a lot of people, to me, in my opinion, I think a lot of people think self-care is more so like pampering themselves, make sure that they look good. But for me, self-care is building a relationship with yourself. So I like to go based off of the acronym SELF, as far as S stand for seek value within, E, elevate your mindset, L, love yourself, and F, find your purpose. And the reason why I started a business around that is because I lacked self-care. I lacked boundaries. I was in a victim mindset where it's like it's everybody's fault besides mine. But I had to have a reality check. And it's like, you know what? People can't do what you allow them to do. So I had to check myself. Like, you know what? If I want something to stop, I need to check myself. So absolutely. That got me on the journey of self-care. And which the first letter is S, which when I say seek value within, it means learning your traumas, learning your flaws, learning your strength and your weaknesses, and really, and even I'm spiritual too. Like, I believe in God, so even building a relationship with God, and helping, asking Him for discernment and just and forgiveness for myself, but other people. So like, self-care itself is learning myself through what I love, what the values I stand on, learn how to set boundaries. And then with E is elevate my mindset. Obviously, seeking value within, you're learning yourself through journaling, podcasts, is like listening to things that actually lift your spirit, going into rooms, networking rooms that actually align with you, and just like making sure that you educating yourself on becoming your better self. So I also lean into that, and with self-love, that's where that pampering aspect comes in, where you want a spa treatment, make yourself look good, like actually pouring into yourself.
This stuff you see on Instagram, you mean this stuff that you see people, oh, it's a self-care day, I'm gonna go and spend $1,000 or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know about $1,000 or nothing, but I mean, knowing me, I probably would, because I am spontaneous. I love traveling and everything, so if I have an idea and it's like, you know what, Venetia, you've been working so hard, you need a moment of self-love, where we go book a trip to? And I'll go ahead and book a trip the same day, and like, absolutely, I'm going to somewhere.
Stuff that holds value though,
yes,
too. Yeah,
like, just a quick story, like, for me, like, so one of my insecurities a while ago, well, still is, so personal story, it is what it is.
Hey, be transparent.
But so like, one thing that I was struggling with is called PCOS. So like, it's basically polycystic ovarian syndrome. So you get more testosterone in your system, and sometimes I get facial hair and stuff. So self-love for me is like, yeah, I can wax, which I did wax and I did shaving, and it created insecurity in myself, because when I was waxing, it gave me more hyperpigmentation, where I have like dark spots now. But I'm like, you know what? I need to go get some laser treatment to help me eliminate the excessive hair growth, but also help me with the hyperpigmentation and stuff like that. So that's like self-love to me. It's like doing stuff for yourself that you like, although you don't want to do it, but you know it's good for you. So that's self-love, doing stuff that you know is good for you, although you don't want to, like, setting boundaries. Like,
so I got a question. So was there a specific moment or particular time in your life where you were like, okay, I need to emphasize this self-love or like this self-care, like, or like that got you started into where you're at now? Like, you know, that kind of promoted like the business and all that stuff. Like, was there a moment that was just like, you know what, that's it, that just changed, you know, that just changed everything?
Yeah. So I was on and off in a relationship with a guy for like about 6 years, and it was like a repeating cycle over and over again, toxic. And I'm like, you know what? And you know what? Reality hit when reality hit when he basically told me, it's like, why do you keep coming back then? Like, if I'm this bad of a person, whatever, why you keep coming back? And that right there, it's like, you know what? You're right. Like, although I don't want you to be right, but you're right. So that then and there, it's like, I need to take accountability.
That was the moment that you looked yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know, like,
and from there, your journey probably just started, you know, and that's the beauty in it, is some things that bring us to self-aware is usually something external, you know, that something external usually makes us go internal. You know what I mean? Obviously, you probably, you know, your journey probably started there, and I'm sure it's been a journey since then, right?
Yeah, yeah, so it's true.
But you know what? It's funny, though, that you say that, especially with relationships, because when we were younger, most of us go through these like traumatic relationships, or toxic, if you will, because we thought that was the cool thing to do when we were younger. Yeah. We felt like that was the real love, or we may not have been used to anything other than that. Yes. So I think a lot of us go kind of through similar, you know, relationships like that, and a lot of us don't even see that, like, the problem there. The problem is that you're not really loving yourself as much as you know what I'm saying, as much as you may try to pretend to be, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't, and they accept these type of relationships with people, or they accept these things in their lives that's kind of like pulling from them and not really giving them, or, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's very special that you know, that you had went through that, because it had led you to this. So it's like almost necessary. It's like a necessary evil, if you will, that you have to go through these things to kind of like find that light, or kind of like to see that light. So to me, that's super dope. And I really applaud you for that, because it could be very like traumatic for some people. It could put people in like seriously like some dark spaces. And I'm sure you had your moments with it, but to kind of see that light and kind of push forward with this whole self-love thing, I think that's just super dope. And it's a good story. Yeah.
Thank you. And I would like to say that, although I was in that situation, I would say more of it was not knowing myself. I was unaware of my own traumas and behavior that put me in that position where I thought, just like, okay, he looks good or whatever, like, yeah, let me just go ahead and date him. But in reality, I didn't have a relationship with myself to know, Venetia, no. I saw the red flags, first of all, but to me, it's like, go, like,
that's the beauty in it.
I was a bull.
Right. You said, I chased the red flags.
You see red, you go for
it. Listen, that's good, because self-discovery is important as well. Like, when you think about these things that are of self-discovery, self-care, you know, self-healing, there's so many things of self-awareness. And then, you know, they all kind of connect the dots within, you know, the knowing our identity, you know what I mean? And having that, you know, that awareness of that. And it's like, you have to be intentional about those things. And it takes a lot of accountability. It takes a lot of vulnerability. It takes those moments of probably living through some type of shame a little bit, because you realize, like, whoa, I've been this type of person. Yeah. We, you know what I mean? We all maturing and growing and done some things out of ignorance before, you know what I mean? It's like, dang, why'd I do that? Like, and we was ignorant. And it's like, until you actually embrace and acknowledge and accept that, that's when you can grow. And like you said, it took that self-discovery of you knowing yourself first before you can even probably get to know somebody else, and the betterment of, you know, what's better for you, the best interest of you still. But I like that. So I like that you said, through your journey of learning yourself, and I'm sure, you know, you took your priorities of actually doing so, you begin to then curate a business that you're able to offer that as a service to other people. How do you do that? What are your services that you're able to do that for other people? So
when I first started my business, I was just doing group self-transformation events. So, like, in downtown Pittsburgh, they had this really nice store. Okay, this was like my first business that I did, event that I did. And they had this beautiful salt cave, and I had a bunch of people there, and we did like a meditation where I would guide them through a meditation of forgiveness or prayer or like just different things in meditation. And basically, and also like appreciate yourself, like learn how to speak affirmation into yourself and everything. So that's how I do it, is I come up with creative ideas, and I'm a really artistic person. So like I like my activities to be like hands-on. So last year I want to also give people an experience where they can have their healing in a beautiful place. So you're getting a 2-in-1 experience. You get healing, but you also get in a creative, nice, beautiful place that you didn't think about before, like, oh, a salt cave. And last year I did Speak into Existence at a winery, but inside at the winery, it was inside of an igloo. And so it was it was transparency. It was at nighttime, so you see all the beautiful lights. They had like a lake and stuff, and at this event, we was talking about basically self-affirmation, speaking life into yourself. So I had them play affirmation bingo. So whoever got bingo, they would have to say, I love myself, I am worthy, I am beautiful. And just so it's basically, and I'll make them yell it. I'm like, oh no, you're not saying it loud enough. You need to say that loud. You gotta say it like you mean it. Yeah. So that was a really good experience, but also gave them cutouts where it was a little dot. Sorry, I don't know. That was me. It was a little girl, a grown woman, and a I love you cutout. And each of those cutout, say the little girl means your inner child, and you'll basically say something to your inner child, whether it's like, I am sorry, I love you, I'm here, like basically speaking life into your inner child. And then as a grown up is your current you, and then the I love you is like things that you love about yourself. So I like being creative, and yeah, and I did have other events, but
no, you know what, I like that. And you had you just talked about speaking to your inner child, and it's crazy you say that, because there was literally 3 days ago I was talking to my brother, and I don't have much of these moments with my siblings about when we talking about when we was younger. Like we don't really, like we talk about it, but we don't really reminisce about it too much and like really reflect. But I was talking to my brother, and I was watching this movie that I have I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. It's just a core memory of me and him watching this movie. It's a baseball movie called Rookie of the Year. And there's just a certain, them certain, you don't remember too much from when you were that young, but there was a certain moments, and it was one of those moments for me. And I was just thinking about it. I shed a tear, because I'm like, wow, like that kid, like them kids were so like innocent and so much like different than what they are now. I mean, in good ways too, but just life had just went, and so it went a whole different way than what them kids probably could have imagined it, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like a wow, like it was one of them moments where I was just like, wow, like, and then I started thinking about myself whenever I was a kid, and like really like what I would think of myself today. And I was just having like kind of a reflective moment where I felt very like strong in that moment. Like I was really, you know what I'm saying? I'm an emotional person. I'm not really a sensitive person. So like when I do get into these spaces of reflecting and stuff like that, I'm emotional. Like I said, tears. I like want to, I feel strong within myself, where I get real motivated or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy you say that, because I just believe, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like God, bro. I'm telling you, it's like stuff get kind of thrown in your life, because I haven't had one of those moments, bro, in so long. So like for you to say that right now, right after I had one of those moments, it's like, wow, that's crazy. Oh, that's dope. But I do want to say too, with the whole thing with the self-love, which I think is dope, and which I think a lot of people should kind of understand or try to understand, is that you have to really, like, and you talk about going to the root of things, like you really have to attack these things first, attack these inner child, or attack these traumas within yourself first, before you can really appreciate the love coming external. You got to fix the internal first, right? So like you got to really love yourself first, and you have to have this great relationship with yourself before you can really accept it from other people, like, you know what I'm saying, and bring it in and allow yourself to be loved in a way to where you feel like it means something from other people, but you have to really get that from yourself first. So I think that the whole concept is really beautiful. I love it.
And it's so different. It's so unique. It's special. And it's so necessary, right? You know, we talk about wants and needs often in business, and it's like that's an underrated need for real. And I'm sure that industry is not saturated because there's not much out there that I hear, you know, people offering that service. At least definitely not like at an entrepreneur level of being, you know, a smaller business. Maybe there's bigger companies out there that provide those services, but I still don't know of them. So, you know, that's great, and I'm sure that brings you in partnership with so many other things, or it will, as far as, you know, the therapist realm and things like that, counseling, and just, you know, being at a partnership with those who prioritize health and wellness and all those things. So I think that's a great thing to, you know, have within your purpose.
No, absolutely. You know what I mean? And it is one of those purposeful things. Like, it's like you build relationships with people. I'm sure you probably got it where people are just like, thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate you bringing that out. And I mean, me personally, I even appreciate you speaking on it, because like he said, like, there's not many people you can even go to just out in the world and just, you know, and they're not going to tell you, like, you ask them what they're doing, they don't talk about that, the self-love thing. I know it is like kind of like it was like, you know, we talked about it a little bit. It was like a self-care was like a popular thing. I guess it was like a trending thing within the last couple years, but it's different in the way that you're speaking on it. You're speaking like on really healing the inside part of you, not really the materialistic side, or, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? The acceptance of other people. You're not looking for other people to accept you and stuff like that. You're working on accepting yourself.
That's good.
That you are. And I think that's so like that, because it's so important, and it really is. Like, when you talk about moral support, like, that's it. Like, right there, bro, that's the game. Like, you gotta love yourself, bro. Like, you really do, and you gotta really dig in. Like, you gotta really dig in with yourself. And I mean, to this day, like, we're all still working on things, you know, and we learn to love each other, or love ourselves every day, like, in a new way, you know what I'm saying? Because some new problems or new situations may arrive, and you got to learn how to really take care of yourself in that regard. And that's awesome to me. Now, you also had mentioned you like traveling. So, like, I mean, for my personal question, like, so when you travel, do you feel a sense of like self-care connection, I guess, with it, like with the love within yourself? Like, so, like, whenever you go to these places, like, do you feel like, wow, like, I feel like I'm taking care of my soul doing this, like, going to these places and stuff like that?
Yes. But now I've been, like, traveling more intentionally, like before when I was younger, because I did a lot of solo traveling. I started solo traveling at the age of, I say, like, 24, I would like to say. But I was just going to places because, like, cruises or, like, stuff because it was fun. But now that I am older, I am traveling for more so an experience of transformation, knowledge, education, and stuff that's, like, valuable. So I love spas, but there's a bunch of, well, the first time I ever went to a Korean spa was in Atlanta, but they have some in Virginia. And there's just a bunch of different hot saunas rooms that's made of, like, gold, salt caves, just different minerals that is, like, healthy for you. So, I just love spas altogether. Like, the cruise is the best place to get a massage. I'm telling you right now. But
noted.
Noted. And then, like, I love helping other people. So one thing I always wanted to do is go to, like, a different country and help others, but also like to be mindful of my budget. I love lavish things, but I'm also cheap in a way.
You say you frugal, frugal.
Of my money, okay?
Conservative. I feel you.
So out of the country, we'll speak on that. How many places have you been to out of the country?
So is this outside of the cruise, or are we counting those?
We'll count that because you get off the boat.
So you're on an island outside the country.
Yeah, right. So if I've been on 2 cruises.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna randomly say the things that I went to. Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica. Canada was outside of the cruise. I've been to Canada twice. I've been to Iceland, and
Iceland's a different one.
Yeah, it is.
That's different.
I would like to say probably, I think that's it that I can think of as of right now. But I have a whole list of places I want to get to.
That's more than the majority.
So what was your favorite place? Well, here, let me ask this, because I know he's going on a cruise soon. I have yet to be on a cruise. I want to, though, but I just want to make sure I'm with the right crowd. It's the right time, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to have a good time. But so were you afraid of boats and stuff like that before you got on? I'm not afraid. I'm just asking.
Well, first of all, I don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
So let's put that out there right now. But I love the ocean. I love the beauty of the ocean, the sound of it, and just being in the middle of a body of water.
Yeah.
So I feel like a cruise is beautiful itself, but if something were to happen, listen, I'm fighting to get on the boat.
Did you think about that? Did you think about that, like, when you was going on a cruise? Like, did you have any, like, intrusive thoughts or anything? Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
So you living.
Yes, for sure.
So was either time, like, a better experience? Like, I know you said you've been on there twice. So was the first time better than the second, or second time better than the first? Or how did that work?
So I ain't trying to put no fear in you. But
no, I'm good. Trust.
I'm talking about that's what he's about to. Okay. So no, both of the times was it was two completely different type of experience.
Okay.
The first one, it was a solo trip. I was supposed to go with somebody, but long story short, it didn't happen. So my first cruise was for my 25th birthday. It was lit. Yeah.
That was by yourself?
Yes.
That's crazy. I want to. Yeah, that's
it was lit. And a lot of people was definitely showing love around my birthday. Made sure that they went out like random strangers and stuff. So that was lit.
You had your birthday sash there?
Huh?
You had your birthday sash on?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm turning 25.
I was what is this, fraternity bros?
Everything free on there?
Not everything. There's some things
that's free.
There's a lot of
so it's not free.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that's free. Everything is basically free, but if you want to go to like them higher scale restaurants that they have on board, then you have to pay for that. But I had to say my favorite moment on my first cruise was I had a fraternity guy, a random guy.
They doing little dances.
Yeah, that was hot. I ain't gonna lie. And jumping off of this is in Dominican Republic. I was jumping off of cliffs.
Okay.
And no, I didn't like jumping off the cliff, but they had unlimited rum. That was
okay. You like the rum part. Okay.
My second cruise, the difference between that is that it was unexpected. There was a lot of experiences that was like unexpected. I took my sister, and she was for sure living her best life. Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Okay. Sure. Where, long story short, because my sister, she's a dancer. She will be killing it on the dance floor, and I give her props because I can't move like that. But they was calling her the baby maker on the cruise because she was like killing it on the dance floor. But also. So like stuff like that where I had to like, okay, I need to separate you off the dance floor because girl, you're doing too much a little bit. And then on top of that, what is it called? Like Long Island iced teas. This is when I first started learning what those what that is. And
dangerous.
Yeah, we was just drinking a bunch of them. Long story short,
a bunch of them is crazy. A bunch of them is crazy.
It was
like one or two is over.
Because it was me and my sister, and we met other travelers there that was at the same table, so we were just hanging out with each other. And so I'm like, we're just crushing these Long Island iced teas, and I didn't know what the heck they was in it. But long story short, I was under the influence. Everybody's under the influence. And I get back to my room because I had to throw up and stuff. And long story short, I'm sleeping at the house, in the cabin, and I get a phone call. It's like, hey, your sister is upstairs in the bathroom, and I guess she was passed out because she was hanging out with another person on the cruise. Like, they clipped it real good, but I guess she had to throw up and stuff. So, long story short, they ended up bringing her to the cabin in a wheelchair. She was okay and everything, and we're just cracking up. So, like, that was an unexpected experience. Our boat ended up getting hit because the captain was trying to do a parallel park and hit into the other boat. So,
like, that wasn't... I seen a couple of videos like that. It wasn't on one of those crazy...
It probably was, because, like,
he ended up hitting it pretty hard?
Yeah, the whole, like, basically the front of it was, like, messed up. So they basically, it took them, like, hours.
That's when you were docking, or?
Yeah.
To an island, or returning?
We was going to an island. What island was that? I think it was going to Mexico.
Goofball.
Yeah. So
we had to talk about the captain and pilots and all that, but they in charge of a lot.
I swear. So
they respect.
That occurred. So, like, long story short, with all the unexpected things that happened on my cruise, it made it a wonderful cruise because I love uncertainty. Gotcha. I love when things just, like, you don't have control over everything.
Like the spontaneous stuff.
Yes.
Like,
So it's like, even the crazy stuff that happens, it's like, oh, did that really just happen? And even if it's embarrassing moments, whatever, I love that stuff. Yeah,
because they're memories, and they do become them core memories and stuff like that. That's like, wow, like, you remember that one time we went?
Right.
No, absolutely.
That's the best part about traveling.
That's dope.
Definitely
solo
with other
traveling,
people.
I like, I hike and stuff like that, but I only like to hike by myself. I don't really like bringing other people on hikes because I like to, like, I indulge in the nature with myself, and it's like a real connection that I feel with it, and it's a freeing feeling for myself. And, sometimes bringing people along can kind of, like, disrupt that connection a little bit, and it's not bad because I want people to experience it too, but I want them to experience it the way I'm experiencing it. And sometimes that's just not going to happen. So whenever you travel, so did you go to Iceland by yourself?
I did go to Iceland by myself.
How was that?
It was beautiful, honestly. It would have to be my favorite place that I ever been to. I want to go back because right now they're having, like, the 24-hour daylight experience. Okay. When I was out there for the winter time, you only had, like, 4 or 3 hours of daylight.
That's wild.
So would it still be, like, would it be pitch black, or would it just be darker? Like if it was, like, an evening, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock here, like when the sun goes down a little bit?
It would be pitch black. Well, because that's when the Northern Lights will hit and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you got to experience that, the Northern Lights?
Yes. Oh my, a lot of times. But the sucky part about it, the first time that I was able to experience the Northern Lights, like, when it was beautiful, is when I was driving. And the roads is, like, first of all, is mountains everywhere. And it's just, like, windy as ever. So, like, I didn't know where to stop at because, like...
Are they real narrow, too, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah. But the Northern Lights was so beautiful. The first time I saw it, it was green, red, pinks, orange, like, so many different colors that, like, I'm driving, I'm recording, I'm taking pictures. I'm like, this is dangerous. It's snowing and everything. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. But
was it warmer than you expected it when you got there? Because I know they say Greenland is colder than Iceland, but obviously with Iceland, ice being in its name, you would assume that it's, like, super, super cold, which I know it is cold, but how cold was it whenever you went there?
Well, I was in 2 locations in Iceland. I was in the south, and then I went to the east. The east was way more colder than the south. Okay. So down south, it was a good temperature. Like, I was able to wear a jacket, a sweat outfit, and that would be cool. But when I get to the east, I was bundled up. I had a whole snowsuit, coat over it. Like, it was cold. The lowest I had experienced in Iceland was negative 13 Celsius
and
out there.
Was it Celsius? Okay, I'm not sure the exact.
I don't know my conversion.
I know if it's Celsius, and I mean the Fahrenheit is low.
Colder, right?
It's cold. Like, it's lower than that. It's lower than the 13. That's all I do. I don't. Yeah. But no, that's crazy. That's wow. That's crazy.
You were there for how long?
2 months.
2 months.
You was there for 2 months?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like vacant. So if you want to explain, like, why were you down in Iceland again?
So I was in Iceland because, like I said, I love giving back to people. Mm-hmm. So I volunteered my services to help a family with their child. So I guess the child have like ADHD, like she's really active, so she needed like a playmate or whatever. So and helped them get the other children to school and stuff.
And how old was she?
She was 6.
Okay.
The one that I had to babysit, but she had another daughter that was, I think she's like 13. So I always take them to school. But in Iceland, even though it's cold out there, they still have to go to school out there. Yeah. They don't cancel anything. Yeah. They be all bundled up. I'm like, damn, I'm freezing. I still have to go to school out here. They have their windows open 24/7. I'm like,
that's crazy.
But yeah,
so you were like a nanny slash DSP for real. Like.
Yeah.
No, that's what's up. I mean, it's crazy, and I think a lot of people can actually extract some value from that because people in our area, in our environment, like, they don't even think stuff like that is possible.
Yeah, right.
Like, they don't even think you can do stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were in Iceland for 2 months. That's crazy. And it's like, people here don't even, like, think they can go to Iceland, period. Because, like, they don't, some people don't even know they can, like, you know what I'm saying? Leave the country. Right. Like, and so it's crazy because you went there off of, like, business, really. And it wasn't even really, like 2 months is a long time. It wasn't like a
foreign area such as.
Exactly. And it's just, I don't know. So that's dope to me. I mean, hopefully you guys can look into these type of things because it's possible. Like, stuff like that is possible. You can definitely go anywhere you want, really. And there really isn't no restrictions. I mean, I know obviously money is a is a hindrance to some people, but it's very affordable in some places. Maybe not Iceland, but I know places around the world that they're like, that's actually cheap. I mean, the most you would pay is probably for the flight. But even with flights, if you look at certain times and certain dates, it's actually really cheap. Like, I just bought this ain't out the country, but I just bought my flight to Vegas last month at some point, and I'm going to September, and it was like, it was only like 150.
Yeah, like, September's a good time. Yeah,
so like it was, it's more now, obviously, but obviously since you did it, you do it early enough, you get the cheaper.
So what you were just saying about that though, because that's super dope. Anything in the aspect of like, so not like sometimes we go to a place such as where we may not know too much about the experiences or more controlled off of what we do, but you were in the confinement of somebody else's home, like actually dealing with them who actually live there. So what were those experiences like being around somebody, a family, and their culture, I'm sure, and all the culture of just Iceland in general, and like just experiencing that like presently versus they can somewhere where like you kind of got to really seek for the experiences.
You could just be in a hotel and just sit there and live like
So when I first went there, I did do my own exploring, but when I went to the family's house, they was a wonderful family, really respectful, definitely a culture shock because in Iceland, they really don't have that many bugs. In the U.S., we filled with bugs. So, like, one thing that I had to get used to is that they left their food out on the counter. Like, they'll leave it out for days if necessary, like meat.
And not like wrap it up and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like, because they don't get no bugs out there. So like me.
See, stuff like that you don't think about.
Like, for real, that's crazy.
So like me, if you have ham out for even for a few hours, it's garbage. Out there, they be having it out for days and still be eating it. I'm like, I'm not eating that. But their meat and stuff is more natural. Like, they don't put any of them additives and chemicals and stuff that the U.S. does.
No, was you able to taste the difference?
So delicious. I'm sorry.
You were able to taste it and feel it? Like, it wasn't just you felt it. You tasted the difference?
Oh, yes. Oh, it was so... Well, first of all, the family I was staying with, her husband was a good cook.
Okay.
Amazing cook. And the meat and the food diet, they eat a lot of meat in Iceland. A lot of fish and a lot of meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since they basically a farmland type of place. But the meat is really juicy, tender, and just... Oh my gosh, you could taste every flavor. I'm getting just memories about it.
It's so crazy because I hear like about it so much. Like, my friend from Turkey, like he he says like y'all breakfast, like y'all food is trash. Like I'm like, yo, like what y'all be eating? He be like, we eat the same things kind of, but like we don't eat like quality. He was telling me like, we don't eat like sweet stuff for breakfast. We don't eat like cereal. We don't eat like syrup and all that stuff. Yeah. That's a dessert. That's for us. Like, yeah. So like, but he was like eggs, like all this stuff. Even like he was just like, food just tastes like it's a higher quality. Yeah. And it's normal though. It's not more expensive. It's just a normal whatever the cheap stuff you get here, like that's how it is there, but the stuff is like no quality. It's quality. Like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that's cheap there is quality food here. Yeah. And that's just crazy, bro. It's so crazy to hear about it, because I think a lot of places in Europe or, you know, even like South America, like in places, like their food, the quality is just so much better.
You could tell the difference.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. I was just like, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah, their values as a country is way different.
Absolutely.
Even it's just a continent, let alone the countries within the continent, like their values are way different.
No, absolutely, and it's crazy. It definitely is. I don't know, man. I don't know. So
that's a dope one.
You have any places you got like planned soon? Like your next?
No. Well, I was thinking about, so when I travel, I be meeting other travelers, and they always inviting me to something. Yeah. I was supposed to go to Thailand. That's where I want to go to. Yeah. But long story short,
Thailand's a crazy place.
somebody want me to go on a cruise with them at the end of the year around my birthday. But I've been traveling so much that I kind of want to take a break and focus on business and saving money and basically getting more like financially stable for like things that actually is necessary.
Like home.
Like,
You want that stability first.
Yes, exactly. Like, unless I get a career where it will let me travel, then that's a whole different story. Because most of the time, like, although I like traveling and everything else, but traveling is a expensive hobby.
Absolutely.
So I love it so much, but still, like, when you're coming out of pocket for things, or if you're not going to certain locations to make some extra income, then it's like, okay, you have to come back and work. But yet again, it's like, you're replacing the money that you spend. So now it's like, all right, Venetia, let's take at least a year off. I mean, I might do minor trips, but let's take like big trips. Let's take a year off and get this money.
That's one of them trade-offs, like where you investing into obviously the experience and all that, but it don't pay you back. Not you know what I mean, monetary.
Your investment is the experience.
Yeah,
it's not the money coming back.
And you might do something with it that makes you money, but it don't got no return on it.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, but you know what though? It's so worth it just because it's a lifelong thing. You hold it with you forever. It's not something materialistic. It's not something you could just lose or you know what I'm saying. So it's money well spent.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to do it responsibly. That's all. You just got to, I mean, that's some big things I always talk to people, because you know some people sensitive about that conversation. They're like, listen, I'll spend my last penny on travel. I'll go broke about. I'll be homeless and traveling. It's like, I get it. Like, experience is definitely, but you're not going to get to heaven and regret not traveling somewhere. Yeah. And you know, if you got a future ahead of you, as far as if you want a business or you got kids, you want them to be able to live the same experiences that you're living, and you got to do that, calculate it in a planned sense where you're setting up the foundation, so it's not just spontaneous travel.
It definitely depends on the life that you want.
The life
that you see with yourself. If you just want to be a nomad and just bounce around, things to go for it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to have like financial stability or some type of structure at home, you have to be home to build that structure.
You know what I'm saying? So true.
Yeah, but
just be smart about it out there. Support crew.
Absolutely, you gotta decide what's for you. But no, that's dope. And I wanted to kind of push back towards your business. Like, so what's the ultimate? Like, what's your goal with it? Like your ultimate goal.
Give us a 2-minute pitch.
Sell me this.
Let's go.
My ultimate goal for Hands in Reach, which is my business. My ultimate goal for Hands in Reach is basically help people to heal, help people to find themselves and reconnect with themselves, but also with people that they love, and help future generation through healing the first person, their children and their children's children, be able to break generational curses.
Absolutely, that's so dope. Now, is this
a good speech?
That's a good pitch. No, that's dope, because I mean, that's where it starts. Like, it really is. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of areas that we need to cover, especially within the Black community, on like where we need to start to break them generational curses. But that is like
start with you.
No, seriously, it's going to start with that, and then your kids, because your kids are ultimately going to be the ones that take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And their kids is not even going to have to worry about certain traumas or certain things that y'all's go, that you may have experienced because you already took that hit for them already. Yeah. So it's like, that's the whole point. But the best thing you can do is recognize it, address it, take care of it, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then pass it on. And that's so big. And man, we talk about it all the time. Like, there is, in my opinion, there is no ethnicity that goes through it as much as far as these curses than black people. Like, black Americans at that. Yeah. So it is something that's so valuable, and I hope that a lot of people see the value within that, because man, we need it. We do,
bro. It's so good, and honestly, I'm so inspired just really being in the midst of this conversation, because like, sometimes we feel like we have no authority over our life, and we feel so despaired because like we don't know how to love ourselves and care for ourselves. And again, we talk about all the time, like, it's something you have to be taught. Like, you don't just naturally, you would think out of instinct that we naturally know how to take care of ourselves as humans, but it's something that we have to learn. It's learned behavior, how to take care of yourself, as far as grooming, hygiene, as far as, just many things, what I mean? Therapy, the whole 9 yards. But it's like, it's actually super dope to hear somebody to be intentional and actually, give the blueprint on how to do so. You know what I mean? And again, I'm sure it's such a diverse thing, because everybody, sees self-care differently. You explain how you see self-care for yourself, those values. And it's like, the market for it has to be great, because everybody needs it. And obviously probably the biggest challenge of marketing is getting people to understand that they need it, you know what I mean? But it's so great, like you said, as far as us as black, as the minorities. It's like, once we realize this, like, and we get a hold of what self-care is, and then, self-love,
the community will
we get to thrive. That's how we thrive, because then I empower myself, and then I get to go ahead and pour into somebody else's cup. Like, I'm big on, you can't give nobody all if you don't got it. You can't love nobody if you don't love yourself.
Amen.
So it's like, until you actually reach a point where you know how to love yourself, then you get to learn how to love others. You know what I mean?
And that's where I'm big at, the village, bro. You can't, like, it starts with the one, bro. I think about certain families, bro, that are always the nice ones that taking everybody else's kids and treating them like their own and stuff like that. Those are the type of people that we need, but we got to be that for ourselves, and we got to do that so we can compound on that to other families and stuff like that. Since they're, since this family's like this, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for other families, and then one by one, bro, then the whole community is looking good. The whole community is taking care of each other, and now we actually look like a thriving community, because but it has to start there. And I think, like, these topics are super, like, we talk about going to board meetings and stuff like that, but just topics within the community, period, like this has to
just
be addressed.
Exposing it.
Just have to, like, you have to kind of open people's eyes up to that. You know what I'm saying? And obviously the people who want to be there is going to be there, and they're going to listen. But I mean, it's not something that happens overnight. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it is really like, it's like building, it's building an empire, you know what I'm saying? And empires aren't built in 5 to 10 years. Ancient Rome or Greece wasn't built, and they was built like hundreds of years, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it takes, but it starts with people like you, honestly, and then and your voice and your reach on getting out there and, exposing other people to that, because I'm telling you, like, it's so valuable. It's such a valuable thing, and it's a valuable topic. That's what we really try to bring on here, like, onto our podcast, because we really want to show people that there are people like you out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, for the people that know you, but to kind of extend our audience to our audience is it's just lovely. Like, I love it. Yeah. So
and I like to be transparent. By no design was that our goal. I'm gonna be real. Listen, I'm just feeling it in my spirit, and I'll probably unleash myself more after this, for real. But I just, in a nutshell, I'm like, there be things that just so divine sometimes to happen, and you just don't know why. And Duane, I just thank you for obviously just trusting me within this assignment, because I didn't know why. I felt that in my spirit, but I'm like, the opportunity on which was arranged, there was a reason, and now I'm in the midst of it. I'm seeing the reason more, and I did not see that for what it was. But I'm definitely grateful, and I want to be able to extend, your services to our platform and even beyond, because it's so needed.
We need it.
It's so needed, and it's like, it's something that's needed, and not found. You know what I mean? Like some people do have the desire to, you know, love themselves and get the care that they, you know, that they deserve, but they don't know where to find it. And it's like, with no guidance, where do you get, even if you know destination sometime, with no guidance, you know, you don't get there oftentimes. So if you could even just throw out your socials out there where they can find you at, all those platforms, all those places, emails, anything. You know what I mean? Because we want them to be able to reach you.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, self-care is definitely a needed thing within the community itself. Yes. Because right now, with everything going on with social media and everything, it's like I feel like I have a relationship with both sides. Like, I feel like we're kind of getting distracted from what is more important. But the more that I go into the community and connect with other people and get resources, so not only I'll be able to help others, but also with Pittsburgh right now, where I see them helping build entrepreneurship or talking about mental health and even art, or just helping the Black community in general. It also gives me hope, because I'm like, you know what? There ain't no love lost. Like, there is still people out there that is willing to invest in you. Make sure that you're getting the resources and the help that you need. You just have to go out there and find it. You also have to be willing to go out there. And what I have noticed is that a lot of people within the, like, women, because that's like mainly my target market, is that well, first of all, you know, the system wasn't really like helpful with like broken homes and everything. So like when you're constantly working and everything, and you have children, like the mothers sometimes don't even have self-care for themselves because they're pouring out to other people. So how can you really help your child when in reality you can't even help yourself? So
and women are like the backbone of our communities. Like that's the thing. Like they are the structure. Like they are the ones that hold everything up, you know, to allow us on our side to kind of take care of like the heavy like duty stuff. But you guys got a lot of the burden, because a lot of times I feel like women do neglect themselves and their self-care because they're too worried about taking care of other people. And I think that
they're making needs meet.
Exactly. And that's exactly where I feel like your value is going to be so much more appreciated, just, you know, because women can relate to that. Like a lot of women, I feel like, that I know personally, can definitely relate to that. And they definitely need somebody like you and your voice and your reach to understand, like, wow, like maybe I do need to take care of these other aspects of my life and not just trying to help somebody else be better, or like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not just trying to make ends meet. I need to actually thrive in this, you know, area as well. And I mean, for real, thank you. Like I definitely appreciate you even being there and being that woman. No, seriously, because man, I mean, we lack that. We really do.
Do you have any transformational experiences coming up anytime soon?
I am currently planning some events shortly.
Hold y'all horses.
No. I'm saying this for y'all. Y'all better listen up. You know what I'm saying?
But you can definitely find me on social media, Instagram, TikToks, and Facebook as Venasia Settles. So it's VENASIA_SETTLES. That's on Instagram, and the rest of my social media accounts is just Venasia Settles. As far as future events occurring, I am going to be throwing some events. It's just haven't been put into work yet because I'm in a process of rebranding. I want to make sure that everything is structured before. Although I can still throw events, but I want to make sure everything is structured where people actually know what I'm about and what I'm seeing. So, like, I want to start doing.
High five. Thank you for that. Thank you for actually taking your time to really do this stuff. Because man, we done seen some stuff go sideways because there was no real you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, that's dope. I appreciate that.
And I want to make sure that's why I want to start doing vlogs again, because before I start doing my in-person events, which I will be doing, I want you to actually know me, know my brand. So when you actually come to my event, I get the full experience. But one of my target goals for my events, nobody can leave without crying. I had to have at least one person crying, but that's from healing. And so far I've been accomplishing that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. That means you speaking to the soul.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Nah, for real. That's what's up.
There's a release on there. That's good. That's good. That sounds important and major, and you know, and before we close out, you know, that sounds important and major, and I'm glad you're doing that, to take your time to do that, because think about someone, you know, being that guy for you and then disappearing or not being, you know, stable within what they're doing. So it's like, that's sometimes more damaging than it is healing. You know what I mean? Because this person who I was leaning on and trying to find myself through, you know, and obviously that's a self-fault as well, because you shouldn't be and not much dependence of nobody else. But still, this is the person who I kind of, you know, was a pillar to me, and now they didn't fail. You know what I mean? Now they're not there when I need them, and it's like, sometimes that can make somebody drop and hit the ground hard. Absolutely, you know what I mean? So definitely, like he said, thank you for actually taking the time to actually, you know, establish yourself the way that you're doing within the season. And don't you know, kill out the noise. Don't let nobody else tell you otherwise, because the world can be noisy and tell you whatever the world wants to tell you. Sometimes we tell ourselves whatever we want to tell ourselves, because patience is virtue. And you know, throughout that waiting and that, you know, the building phase, sometimes get a little discouraging, you know what I mean? Sure. But we see the value, we hear the value, and we know it's going to be brought forth in a manner that it should be, in a timely manner that it should be.
I appreciate
big time. Yep. Well, y'all give it up for her, man. She's amazing. Thank you for everything, man. You guys can find her socials, everything you need in the description below. Everything will be there, man. Go check her out. And please show up for this lady. She's doing God's work for real, and we definitely appreciate her coming on here. So thank you again. And yeah, that'll be it, man. Support crew. We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you.